to actually physically hop on a plane, and probably by the time you worked it out, the event will be over. So, so that was pretty interesting. So there's people everywhere watching stuff. So, yeah, sorry, man. You already told me he was like a bit nervous about it. So I'm just like, yeah, there's people around the world watching you. So, so yeah, so that's really, really good. So, yeah, so I've got some things I'm gonna talk briefly after Jake's presentation. You're going to find, this is slightly different, but this is the one I was telling you about this morning about using software that you guys would use in school. So I'm not going to talk anymore. So Jake is basically creates interactive TV props for television shows. He does it a lot and does it well. So he's going to kind of showcase a number of things, and you're going to find it really interesting. So I'll just hand you directly over to Jake.
I'll grab a mic in a minute. Yes, I work for TV shows. I use Flash and I build technology for them, and I consult. It's the best way to describe what I do. I'll talk a lot, and I'm worried about cameras and the internet because I might say stuff that will get me in a lot of trouble. Yeah, sure. You've seen me teach. It's always bad. When I used to do this for Andrew, it was a room of 25 people. He did not tell me there were 700 of you. I work on a show primarily at the moment called Rush. You may have heard it's a small cop show on Channel 10. It's not very good. Yeah, it's awesome, but as far as I see it is, it's a really good computer guy helping some cops out chase people. A lot of what I do is based in Flash. I'll talk to you about the industry that you're about to enter into because it is hard, it's fun, but it's also very strange. Quickly, I will firstly premise this is the trailer for season 3. I did not edit the trailer. I had nothing to do with the trailer. I just wanted to show it because I laugh at it. Oh, come on, volume. Sam!
4 robbers in total. Guys, I've got vision inside, patching it through now. Get back! We have 5 civilians inside.
Got a victim?
The rush.
Does anyone find an American voiceover on an Australian TV show really strange? On Monday, we came back from our production break.
With Hungry Jack's Whopper Grand.
Turn that off. Turn off the thing, yeah. We came back from our production break. Every camera person on the crew was like on an iPhone going, have you seen this ad? Have you seen this ad? What's with the American voiceover? I'm like, have you been to Singapore? It's all American voiceover. I'm surprised we haven't dubbed it. I, like you, was a gamer kid, and I was a gamer kid in the 90s, so we were beaten up a lot and put in a corner, as opposed to now where gamer kids are cool. Don't awe me. I'll slap you silly. And it was very hard to be someone in IT because, well, everyone in IT is the nerdy person who likes computers, Dungeons and Dragons, and not the light. I played a lot of sport, which freaked people out too, by the way. I played rugby, I played football, I played soccer, which was like union or league. Good, you play a real rugby. Anyone who plays league, I'm sorry to the internet, it's a pussy sport. If you can't tell by my size, I was a prop, which meant a lot of aggression of people beating me up. I got to beat up on a football field. Good fun game. Also being a goalkeeper at soccer is good too. But it was very strange to be in IT. And when I left school, I went to Monash and I did an IT degree which qualified me as a business analyst. And I don't like sitting in an office. I don't like wearing a suit. I don't like being stuck behind a desk all day. So I somehow, like the mob, joined the film and television industry, and I got into it by a friend of mine going, we need someone who knows how to set up computers because no one in the art department knows how to plug it in. And that was my first job in TV in 2002. I went to a set in Daimaru, back then Melbourne Central, the office building, and I had to set up 10 computers. And that was my job for the day. And what I learned about the TV industry was you get free breakfast, you get free lunch, and a lot of the time you're sitting around doing nothing. And I was like, and I get paid. Excellent, I want to be in this industry, how do I keep going? Hardest thing for it was that no one like computers, no one knew computers, everything was done via video. Anyone seen the film The Net? It was back in the 90s, had Sandra Bullock. Terrible film about the internet, and it's horribly written as a film in general, but about computer stuff. And any of you watch TV and go, that's not believable. We know IT, I know that's not possible. Hands up if you've watched 24 and gone, that doesn't make any sense at all. Right. I have a friend named Michael, hopefully he's not watching. He will, when he's watching 24, text message me going, let me just port that to your screen. You know, what the hell? Internet very aware of swearing. And so now that I do this job, anytime I start a new show, it's the yelling and screaming from my friends that go, you better make it believable or we're going to literally come beat you up for it. 3 years ago, I got hired on to Rush, and I had worked on many shows between there. I'd worked on City Homicide, I've worked on a film called Where the Wild Things Are, I've worked on a show called Satisfaction. I know it's a Foxtel show about a brothel, but they do have computers in it. I've worked on many shows where the art department see the word computer and literally freak out. I work for a good mate of mine, brought me up in the industry world, mentored me, named Paul. He sits there and sees the word computer, writes Jake next to it, counts how many times he's got the word Jake, makes a phone call and says, I need you, can you come in today? They've got computers. It doesn't, and then I get sent script. Rush was the first show where they based an entire section in Australian drama around a computer. Now, does anyone watch the show Rush? Kinda, it's a cop show, I know. Your mum and dad probably watches the show more than you. They have a command center in that place which has 8 screens and is meant to be plugged into everything. In season 1, the art department built that set and gave me 7 screens and said, we have 7 DVD players, 5 computers, make it work. And I went, okay. And then they added, oh yeah, we shoot in here in 1 day from now. Yeah, the film and television industry is great, it's beautiful, and very short deadlines. If you don't believe me, I got an email Friday night from my boss saying, here is the stuff for the next episode. By the way, I need this on Monday. So when I leave you all today, I have to go home and work. Give up your weekends if you choose so. It's one of those things. We lived for the first season with that setup, and the problem was, if any director wanted to change a screen, it would take me 20 minutes to rewire it. We've dubbed it, and I don't have a photo of it because I'm not technically allowed to show you it. Where I live is, if this is the room where we have Leon sit with his screens, I work from about here, which you think is easy unless you need to actually see what's on the screens. So between season 1 and season 2, I went and took a gamble and spent 10 grand and built a computer that can actually operate wirelessly. One computer, I got rid of the 7 DVD players, I got rid of the 5 computers, I built one computer that has 8 outputs, and outputs to all the monitors at the same time. Then I wirelessly routed it using VNC, and so I can sit anywhere on the set with my laptop and operate it. It's the hardest thing to do when you take a gamble like that, because it was $10,000 of my money to save my time and effort. But it works now. We've used it for 2 seasons and makes my life a lot easier. To the point I've been rewarded as an extra on the show now, where I sit, don't watch the show if you choose to, but occasionally you'll see me in the back of shot, because where I sit gets me on shot, and we joke now, let's play the game, how many times can I get on camera? Software I use, I build everything in Flash. Does anyone want to take a guess why? It is. It's easy, because a lot of the stuff I do is interactive graphics, animation, and video. What does Flash do? All those things. Any of you good action script coders? I've had to build proprietary software. I've built what we've just dubbed the any key system, where an actor can hit any key on the keyboard and type as scripted, or if they hit enter, it will change as scripted. I also work for an ABC show now called Bed of Roses. It's based around a newspaper office. all of that is typing. And if you think it's a fun job, I have to spend 6 hours to do one A4 page of writing. But how it used to be was I'd have to animate it. And now, because the actors can hit any key and type at their pace, it actually helps directors. My job hasn't got any title in the industry because it doesn't exist until I created it. I've had the following titles on call sheets: playback operator, computer technician, computer guru, computer wizard. That was my personal favorite, and guy who can fix anything. I kid you not, on City Homicide, I used to see this call sheets. The official one was computer technician, but every now and then Jane would slip in, Jake, awesome. That would be my title for the day. The other hard thing about the computer industry is that they don't understand it. So when they go, well, he can just hack into anything, I sit there and cringe in a corner while we shoot it. And I've been lucky enough that I work with an actor who goes and looks at me and goes, no. I've gone, and he realized me and goes, what should this really be? And I'm like, believable or actually? Because believable, I don't want to learn too many lines. And then we'll negotiate to the point now where Sam, who's the main actor I work with, has negotiated a webisode or something for Rush and has come up to me this week and gone, I'm doing the webisodes. It's based around Leon. I can't do it without you. Can you please come up? I can't pay you much. Why is every statement I end up with is, I can't pay you much. Andrew, I can't pay you much. Actually, I can't pay you anything, but can you come and talk to these kids for me? It's always the way. The industry is hard. But someone said to me, until someone questions your invoice, you don't actually know you're charging enough. It is one of those shows. I'm creeping myself out now with the camera. I'm going to keep looking forward. It's one of those things about the industry. Flash is great because it does animation, it does interactive buttons, and as it developed, despite Apple hating Flash and Adobe in general, I love it. Admittedly, I have to use Macs now and they crash a lot. But it's one of those things. Learning code, and I've self-taught myself everything I do. I self-taught myself Photoshop, I self-taught myself Flash. I'm doing a little bit of Maya right now because we're doing more 3D stuff. And learning it and just understanding it. The hardest thing about my job in the industry is that no one understands technology. And you guys are lucky because hopefully now, as every industry evolves better, they'll understand it better. If you choose to go into my job, but can't have my job, I'll fight you for it. I did have the discussion on Monday that anyone younger than me can simply come in because you're way cheaper. But that's one of the things. I really only have 10 minutes to talk about. If you have questions, ask. I will tell you stories. I do it kind of like Kevin Smith does spoken word. I will play off you guys. Does anyone have any questions? Raise your hand. Do I have a runner? I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll run myself. Question? Raise your hand.
Have you ever actually run into anyone, actors or even other workers around the set who do have the tech industry as perhaps an interest or a hobby and they've surprised you with their knowledge?
One of the first shows I worked on was a show called Nightmares and Dreamscapes. It was an American production and the actor I worked with closely was William H. Macy. Someone who he is. He's one of the old actors. Surprisingly, knew a lot about technology and was talking to me in depth about. So I was in Germany, and this happened, and this happened, and this happened. Is that because my virus scan has been updated? And knew tech rather well. And you could have interesting conversations. On the flip side, Sam, who I work with on Rush, he went to a doctor's office, and he tells me this story, and we laugh about it. His doctor went to him, so there's something wrong with my computer. Could you fix it? And he goes, I'm an actor. We have a guy on set who does that for all the computer stuff for me. My response was, well, either I'm really good at my job or you're a believable actor. You choose. Do I have a runner? Anyone? Go, grab. Anyone? Raise your hand for questions. Stand up.